Good morning, stamping friends. Happy Tuesday morning to you. Thanks for joining me. We had a whirlwind weekend. We have friends from Minnesota here visiting for a month. They aren't staying at our house, but we see them quite often, so it's really fun. And last weekend we went to Las Vegas. Now, when we chose this weekend, I should say I kind of forgot that Super Bowl weekend is coming up. So it was crazy busy, but we had so much fun. We could see a lot of the Super Bowl things going up. And our main goal was to go to the show called The Beatles. And I had seen that in August with Stampin' Up! And I loved it so much that I brought Dan along. And then when our friends were here, I was thinking it would be fun to make a little road trip. So anyway, we did that. We just spent 2 days there. It's drivable from Arizona. So that's what we did this weekend. So I'm scrambling a little bit to figure out what I wanted to do for my video. And so I thought I got to do one more Valentine's Day card, and I'm going to use one of the new celebration sets. So hang tight as I go through a few other things. I wanted to mention the deadline for my online card club. Thank you again so much for those of you who subscribe to this. I so appreciate it. And for those of you who haven't tried it, I encourage you, especially this month. It's going to be really fun because we are using the bundle Everyday Details. And I am going to show this to you really quick. Let me spotlight this. Here you can see it a little bit closer up, and it's just a really fun set. We're going to do many fun folds this month, and here's the die set, and I've used these in many other ways besides with this little class that I came up with. And so I encourage you, if you would like to sign up for the class for February, the deadline is February 10th, which is Saturday. And so all you have to do is click on the link, and it will take you to the sign up area. It will also tell you a little bit about how my online card club works. And the best thing about this club is that you don't have to do the homework for it. I got everything prepared for you, cut and scored, and if there's a little bit of die cutting that isn't in your designer series paper, then I will do that for you. And also you'll get over $20 worth of free, well, not free, it's $20 worth of product, 8 projects. They come with envelopes, and it's only $38 a month, and that includes shipping. Give it a try and see what you think. Also, I would put my my host code on this little graphic here, but my printer isn't working, and I struggled with that before I left for Las Vegas, and for some reason I just am not computer savvy and I cannot figure it out. I always have to call Apple Care, and they have to walk me through it and hold my hand. So anyway, I will have that on my blog. So if I ever don't show it in the video, just know that it's always on my blog, and that'll be the current host code. So if you use my host code and you spend $50, you'll get a surprise in the mail from me. It's Stampin' Up! Product along with a thank you card. And also, because it's still celebration, you can take advantage of that and get a free celebration item if you spend at least $50. So there's so much going on here, isn't there, in the world of Stampin' Up! Okay, so we are going to turn the camera, or actually spotlight my hands so I can share with you our project today. All right, the stamp set that is the celebration one is Heartfelt Hellos that we're going to use today. And again, I wanted to show you that there's a whole bunch of new products that are additional choices this month for celebration, and they're brand new this month in addition to what we had earlier. And I was going to print that off and show you, but I guess I'll have to put that link in because of my printer again not working. So make sure you check that out because there's so many neat products in there. And then the other stamp set we're going to use is this one, and I'm only after one little stamp here, this little donut. We're going to do a little sweet treat here for Valentine's Day. All right, so we are also going to use our little note card ensemble. You get 20 note cards and envelopes for only $8, and there's very vanilla and basic white. And so I love working with these. It's really easy to do an assembly line of cards, and you get so much bang for your buck with these. So I wanted to show that to you. And then also we are going to use Bright and Beautiful for the designer series paper. You could also maybe use the one that goes with this ice cream swirl. I think it goes well with it. That one is called Lighter Than Air. I almost used this paper, but I preferred the little dots here. I thought it looked a little bit better with what we're making today. So that's the one we're going to use. And we are going to start with that little note card that I just mentioned. And these, when they're folded, are 3.5 inches by 5 inches. And the score line is already there. It's like our basic white thick cardstock. So all you do is fold this on the score line. Let me grab my tools here. And Just give it a nice crease with your bone folder. And then the next thing we're going to do is grab, this is a 3.5 inch by 1 inch strip of cardstock. And I'm going to stamp on this because we are going to put this on our card front, but I'm going to put some foam strip behind it because I want it to be raised. However, it's best to stamp on this piece before we adhere it with foam strip underneath. So what I'm going to do is use that stamp from Heartfelt Hellos, and we're going to do the Love You More. That's perfect for Valentine's Day. And I'm going to put it on just this little block, but you can see the stamp is a little bit larger. Do you see how it kind of hangs over a little bit? Like the love isn't all the way on there, but the words we're after is just you more, because we're going to use the word love in a different way. So to get the ink on the stamp, we are going to take a Stampin' Write marker and literally just color on the red rubber. And then if you use blends, it dries too fast, so you want to huff on it and then just stamp. Okay, now we can attach this to our card front. And again, I mentioned that we are going to use foam tape because I want to give this a bigger pop. So I'm just going to rip a little bit off of my little card here. And this really tears easy. You can use the scissors if you want, but I'm just going to put it on each side like this. And then just put it at the bottom of the card. I hope it's towards the bottom. Sometimes it's hard when you're at an angle. All right. Then the next thing we're going to do is take that designer series paper. This is 2 inches by 3.5, and we're just going to adhere it to the card front and make sure it goes below the piece that we just added. And we'll just use our Stampin' Seal. I like the plus one. It's a little bit stronger than our regular. It comes out nicely. And then just slip that right there. And then the top piece, we are going to cut a 3.5 by, what did I cut this to? Let me grab my ruler here. This is 3.5 inches wide by 2.5 inches. And we're going to do the same thing and put this on the front with our foam adhesive strips. I might add a little bit more so it doesn't kind of sink in the middle. It's a little bit bigger piece of cardstock. So, and what are you guys doing for Valentine's Day? We are going out with our friends that are here from Minnesota again, and we are going to Taco Guild, which is a really cool restaurant here in Phoenix. And it used to be, I believe, a Catholic church years ago, and they kind of kept that same look, but it has yummy Mexican food there. So I'm going to tip this just so I can get this so the top edges are even. You know, I use this style of card a lot because I love it. Okay, now we have a recessed designer series paper with raised panels above it and below it. All right, let's build the middle of this word now. What we're going to do is we're going to take foam adhesive sheets this time. It's the same thickness as we used with the strips, and cut this. It doesn't really matter what size. I just want some letters to fit on here. And there's 2 backings because the middle piece is going to be sticky on both sides. So we're just going to remove one of them like this. And then we're going to put our basic white on top. And then I'm going to run this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It's okay if it didn't line up perfectly. I'll just trim this off because I can reuse this tape underneath it just for, you know, just use it like dimensionals. I'll just peel that off so it doesn't stick. Then what I'll do is I'm going to use those large alphabet dies. It's called Alphabet a la Mode. And I'm going to put LVE. We're going to spell the word love. So remember, this side is still on and leave it on. Eventually we'll take that off, but we'll run it through the die machine with the letters right here. And then run it through this way. So your basic white is facing up. All right, so the magic of TV. I already cut these out. And let me find my L here. Hold on. Now, when you run it through the machine, you're going to want to go forward and back twice, and then flip the whole thing upside down and do it again, because this is so thick. Not only does it have that foam, but it also has a layer of cardstock, so you're really going to have to do a few forward and backs, and then it'll cut all the way through. Okay, so now we made a little channel here, and these letters are going to fit perfectly inside here. In fact, I may have cut that a little bit too small, but let's peel the back off of this, and it's gonna make like a little sticker now. Okay, so let's put the L on. I'm sorry I have to stand again. It's just hard at an angle to do this. And I went up maybe about a 1/4 inch from the edge. So this L fits perfectly in there. And you know what? I think I did cut this a little bit larger. It is 3.5, we know that width, and then it's 2.5, but then I added 1/16 more. So technically it's 2 and 9/16. But if that's too hard to figure out where it is, it's like 2.5 plus one more little niche there, marking. All right, then what I do is I start on the other side. I'm going to do the E of love, and we're going to take off that backing again. So it turns into a sticker. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And the reason I'm doing E is so that I can get it the same distance as the L there, about a 1/4 inch. Put the E there. It's going to want to stick to your hands. These are so thin that they just will bend wherever you want them to go. So there's E. Then I'm going to wait with the V, and what we're going to do for the O is we are going to make a cute little donut. So it's a sweet treat. So I'm going to take the donut from that ice cream swirl stamp set again, like I mentioned earlier, and we'll just use Memento Black. Remember, when you're using blends, this is the ink you want to grab because it doesn't bleed when you do different colors. So just ink that up. And then I even want the O out of here. So I'm just going to take a paper punch that I have. This is about a 1/4 inch, and I'm just going to punch out that O in the middle. And again, I got to do this at an angle so I can make sure I'm getting that hole right in the middle. And that's an easy way to cut that out. All right, now we are going to take 2 blends. We're going to use the same colors that are in the background here, which is dark bubble bath. And we'll just color these little in between the lines. This will be the icing. We'll have, I don't know, strawberry icing and what's purple icing? Grape? Strawberry and grape? I don't know. I love Valentine's Day because I normally get chocolate from my husband. I'm not big into flowers. You probably know that. I don't make quite as many flower cards as other ones, but I do love my sweets. So that's why I tend to lean towards those. Now we are going to have to fussy cut this because it's not quite a perfect circle. I thought about trying to punch it out with a circle, but it's a little bit whimsical. So we're just going to cut this out. It won't take very long. And then once I get cut out, we're going to make sure this is popped up as well. And again, we're going to either use, you could use foam strips, or I'm just going to use, yeah, you could use foam adhesive sheets or strips, but I'm just going to use strips. All right, so let's see. I have some right here. And then also we're going to have to get the placement of these so they're equally spaced in between the L and the E. All right, so let me get the sticker off of the back of the V. You could also, if you wanted, if this is a little bit too plain, you could emboss these, but I wanted to stamp on it, and sometimes it's hard to stamp when you emboss this. All right, so let's see. We'll just kind of place them where they want, see where they should go. Whoops. I'm going to have to stand again. I think I can guess. We'll put the V about right here. And then the donut's going to go right smack in the middle here. And there's our card. Love you more. Isn't that cute for someone that likes sweets? I guess I should have made this Valentine for myself. My husband isn't much of a sweet person. I mean, he's very sweet, but he doesn't like sweets to eat as much. All right, I had to do one more thing because I thought it needs a little bit jazzing up on the envelope. So the envelopes that come with are a little bit larger than 5 by 3.5 so that it will fit in. And then I'm just going to take a coordinating piece of cardstock. This is 2 inches by, go this way, 2 inches by 5 1/8. And what we do for this is, I'm going to use glue this time because I want to make sure every edge is covered, and just cover that flap. And this is the best way to make sure that your envelope will fit perfectly on the back. So just glue that on, and then the envelope flap is actually your pattern, and you're just going to trim it like this and just match the flap, and this will coordinate then. This is really fun to do with really anytime you're using designer series paper. We get so much paper in those packs, and then it's just really fun to dress up the envelopes, and then you have a really matchy card with your designer series paper. I would have used the polka dots that are on this paper, but that is my last snippet of paper. I seriously used all of this. I've gone through a lot of packs of these. So then, see how it coordinates like that? Isn't that fun? All right, well, you guys are going to have to get busy and get your Valentine projects done. Let me move this so I'm back with you. And again, I encourage you, if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love it if you ordered from my Stampin' Up! Website, and I will put the link in there. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of the month with celebration going on. Remember, if you have an order that's around $99, go ahead and sign up for that starter kit. It's only you get to choose $125 worth of products and only pay $99, and you get that free glass mat that I normally use here. But on video, it gives a little bit of a glare, so I tend to grab my darker one. Or if you aren't interested in the glass mat, you can also choose $155 worth of products, and it only costs you $99, free shipping on both. And it's just a great way to get all of your products at a much less price. So be sure and take care of that as well. Well, thanks again. I hope to see you next Tuesday morning on my YouTube channel, and have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye, guys.